Did they say live on your end yet?
We good, but it's always now. The content of this meeting is being sent to a third party.
Yeah, because it's not telling me on my end where it's saying like it's live. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm about to take you to YouTube. It's like, hold on. All right, y'all. Peace and greetings to y'all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghazi Obey here in Morocco. How are you? Happy holy day, right? It's another kind of holy day, right? It's Prophet Noble Drew Ali's solar return. Happy solar return to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, even though, we are not seeing him in the phi cycle, right? In the physical, we still know that his energies are on other planes, both astral and causal. Astral being the soul plane, causal being the spirit plane. And you guys know I'm here with our magnificent and beloved brother, whom we're well pleased with, Astro Pups, and his brother Sean, Aleem L. Guys, we're going to really cut to the chase here. We already know, as you can see, we're going in on not only Prophet Noble Drew Ali's solar return by just sharing the Moorish leader's historical message to America, but we're also going on the new moon in Capricorn. So we plan on making this brief, getting straight to the point. Always at the top of this, first and foremost. And despite, you know, people's negative energies out there, we're going to let you guys know. Make sure you donate. All righty. We have 2 cash apps. I have one. Brother Sean has one. As far as when we're saying we have cash apps that we administer, right? You guys can go into other descriptions of previous videos and see the cash apps there. Once we are finished this video, in the description, the cash app will be put in there. Alrighty. So you guys can donate respectively to each one. Or if you donate to one, just give a note. Hey, I'm just donating to one of the cash apps. Just split this in half with the other brother. That's all you got to do. It's not complicated. And we thank you in advance. And we thank those that have been supportive and have been donating. All righty. So we're just going to cut right to the chase. We're going to get to the Moorish leader's historical message to America in lieu of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's solar return. And so what I did, I took a screenshot of my Moorish literature. Which one is it? Am I pointing to it right there? I am pointing to the Moorish literature right here. And in this particular copy, right? Right. I guess it was kind of there, Brother Sean, and then it wasn't. Oh, okay, yeah, we kind of see it right there, I guess. Yeah, in the Moorish literature, right? It's a 4-page letter, right? And it's at the end of the Moorish literature. Excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper is where the Moorish literature is coming from, right? So I'm just gonna share screen. And in most of my books, it's usually marked up with like highlights and red ink and all types of stuff because of what I was doing in my studies at that moment, them different moments of time and studying it. However, let's share the screen, right? And bring this up. And guys, you already know in normal fashion, Brother Sean's going to do the reading and I'm going to do my ha ha yeah
Yep.
serious member type of ad-libbing, right? So with that being said, I'm going to yield the floor to Brother Sean, and we're going to go over this 4-page letter as quickly as we possibly can, guys. We'd like to get this live done in under half an hour. So first half of this live, we're going to go over the Moorish leader's historical message to America. And then the last half, we're going to go in on the new moon in Capricorn instead of doing 2 separate lives. So we thank you all in advance for joining us. So this is where I'm going to zoom in here, and I yield the floor to Brother Sean. Islam.
Islam. All right, Moorish leader's historical message to America. In connection with the aims, objects, rules, and regulations of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization, covering its inception, rise, and progress, and of the Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you and be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general.
Look at that. I mean, just it's very simple, straight to the point. This should really give perspective, and it probably gives perspective to those of us that sincerely study what Prophet Noble Drew Ali has ever like published 100 years ago or more. You know, it's not really hard, man, when you really are someone with the mindset of being in complete honor. And you know what I recognize? It's funny because I was speaking to one of my loved ones this morning, and it's like, even in the conversation with one of my loved ones this morning, I realized that I really am about enforcing the law and following the rules, to the point where those who think they are law enforcement, or think they're lawyers or attorneys, or think they're judges, they the way I enforce law and point out what, their statutes, codes, and policy says, and then what law actually is outside of their statutes, codes, and policies, it exposes that they do not enforce law, to the point where I think they don't even know law. Your people that's wearing badges and uniforms, people that wearing suits call themselves attorneys or lawyers, people wearing robes call themselves so-called judges or magistrates. These not too many of them actually know the law. So what they're doing, they are doing a great disservice in their public service, which is the public trust. Public service is the public trust. Right? What was that again, brother Sean? 5 CFR what?
I think might be 2236.101.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember 7 numbers, right? With a dot after the 4th number, right? So what a lot of people are dealing with, even with people dealing with evictions, so-called evictions, that we know after, keep going to the jurisprudence gym, that it's illegal and unlawful to make people homeless. So they're using what's called unlawful detainer, which means they're saying you snuck into Walmart, you stayed in the bathroom, and then once Walmart closed or whatever, then you were setting up camp in the Walmart after hiding in the bathroom after closing hours. And that's how they're treating your apartments and houses, in order to say that they're going to remove you, because they're saying that you unlawfully detained the property that way. So now they're going to do a forced entry and detainer against you.
That's 2635.101.
2635.101. 5 CFR 2635.101. For public service is the public trust. So who's the public beneficiaries? We are. We're the ones to benefit from that. However, you have people who call themselves police officers. They're not police officers. These people are arrogant. They arrogantly call themselves police officers. They're just enforcing a policy. Policy and police, same word. One has an E at the end, one has a Y at the end. An officer is someone who's elected. 9 times out of 10, if not 12 times out of 10, they filled out an application and prayed for a position to go to academy. And then they call themselves law enforcement officers. That's a lie. That's a Leo lie, right? Because law enforcement officers, LEO, that's a Leo lie right there. Super lie. And then these people's arrogance and ego makes them think that they're actually doing something, and they're not. When you're reading a law enforcer's letter right here, you're reading his message. Moorish leaders, which means it's one leader, because that's an apostrophe S at that title. Not no jailbird thinking he's running. I'm more scientific America, Mo. I's the leader, I's the sheep, I's the grand sheep. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're an ex-convict who barely comprehends the lessons, which means you're being treated as one who is an officer, a public official, a public trustee, who probably shouldn't have been so-called convicted that way. But you guys don't study the law either. And on this day, these things need to be brought out even more. They need to be highlighted. And so in reading the Moorish leaders' historical message to America, I trust that what we do, we're reiterating what we're here for. JLV says the lexicon of their profession is being used, the language is being used, whereas living souls expressed in the bodily form of a man or a woman speak plain language. That's interesting too, JLV, because at the end of the day, it's like, again, it's foxes holding court and telling chickens, come and get a fair trial. Chickens don't speak fox. And then when chickens start coming up with a pecking order procedure, then the foxes want to be like, oh, that's not fair. They being sovereign chickens. They're part of the sovereign chickens movement. Stop it. It is what it is. Prior establishment of how to communicate, no parity. Right. They're right. They have no parity with the real at all. However, okay, I'm doing my best to not make my ad libs so long. But let's really pay attention to this Moorish leaders' historical message to America, because it'll be very clear, especially when those that are wearing turbans and fezzes, because this is the thing about how we study. Not only do we point out those within the public trust don't know what they're talking about, people who should be knowing what they're talking about as far as Moorish Americans, we're pointing out that a lot of them don't know what they're talking about. People just feeling what they want to do and they feel they should do. They're not really studying. They never took the time. And then they're continuing to waste their energy being jealous of us. Jealous of Brother Hasan and his brothers at Seven Hill Star. That's what it is. You're jealous. You are. And envious. You really are. Because you're trying to figure out why do we comprehend it the way that we comprehend it. If you paid attention to the prophecy for real, then you would be like, oh, yes, finally, these brothers are here. It says it right here in the prophecy. You guys are too busy fighting it instead of joining up, unifying. I yield.
I further most anxiously hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of all times upholding those fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization, for our posterity, such as fundamental principles. Okay, for our posterity, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity.
So you see how I put love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice under each one of those. When I tell you I was at, man, you're going to talk about analyzing this. I don't play, man. I don't care who your Grand Sheik is. 9 times out of 10, your Grand Sheik ain't going over stuff like this. Your Sheik, your Grand Sheik, none of them. They too busy selling pork sandwiches and beers, raising money for the temple. I yield.
We organized as a Moorish Temple of Science in the year of 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois on November 29th, 1926. The name Moorish Temple of Science was changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, May 1928, in accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois.
And this is so because he's talking to a people that may not comprehend that the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, which still exists, which is the civic side, adopted as its corporate name, Moorish Science Temple of America. Don't want you guys thinking, oh, it changed, it ain't that no more. That's not what I discern from this. I discern that Prophet Noble Drew Ali comprehends that he's further speaking to an illiterate people that are only just hearing his words, where those that are going to listen are 100 years later. Here we are, listening, comprehending what he's saying. So Moorish Science Temple of America was adopted as the corporate name for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Period. So the Moorish Holy Temple of Science legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of Illinois. You see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that research, because most people are like, oh, well, then that means they're subject to statute. No, it's going to lead you right back to Bill of Rights 1, religious freedom. That's what it's going to lead you back to. No one pertaining to so-called state of Illinois can do nothing but protect those that are the civic organization Moorish Holy Temple of Science that are doing religious corporate activity via Moorish Science Temple of America. For real. And I don't mean Moorish Science Temple of America, INC and all this. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that fraud. I'm not talking about that. Because we got to get these things together. Again, clearly see the duty and wisdom of all times upholding those fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization, for our posterity, which means descendants, those that come after us. Beneficiaries is another term for posterity, right? And those principles are obedience to the law, that's love, respect, that's truth, loyalty to ruling one's mind, government, right? Because government starts with family, loyalty to where government, where does government start? Family, peace, that's peace, tolerance, that's freedom, and unity, that's justice. I know some of y'all might not comprehend, that's fine. You can get a lesson and I can help you to teach you in your temple. Now you can sit here and think I'm arrogant and all these other things. What's going to happen is people are going to see. And I think it's coming. I don't even think people are going to get to 2025 before it's going to be a whole gamut of things. People will be like, oh my God, man, those brothers were right the whole time. I just thought they was some internet moles. No, we're not internet stooges. We are Al-Moroccan descendants made manifest on a portion of earth that has been termed a Mexum. Even though in the 101 questions, it says we're descendants of Moroccans born in America. And again, that answer is given like that because it's to help an illiterate people who may not be ready for the adept terminologies. Jerry Blaze Bay says Moors, Islamism, supreme love, Merry Christmas. Indeed, Islam, Brother Jerry, Islam. Mother Sahar says, peaceful greetings, everyone. Hey, Mother Sahar, peaceful greetings to you. JLV says, although, even if unknowingly, with one word, group of words, a man or a woman can bring themselves back under the presumption or jurisdiction of their legal and into the public. Indeed, JLV. Indeed. And she said peaceful greetings also. And see, and this is funny because my mind thinks like this. When did I consent to it? Because anything else is somebody saying, well, because you did this and you did, what are you saying? What, you want to fight? That's really where my mind goes. What, you want to fight? Because it sounds like you want to use words and terminologies to war against me having my, free will. You want to try to rule over me and control my timeline. What, you want to fight? I mean, come on. That's the only way I see that. Man. Anyway, I yield, bro. Islam.
The object of our organization.
Hold on, one other thing. Yes, civic organization under the laws, whereas the whole, adopting as its corporate name, Moorish Science Temple of America, was a requirement. I want you to see how both of those things were done. Lewis Lincoln Emerson was like, hey, do this like this. I'm just saying, y'all can actually have some protection this way if you do this like this. That's all I'm saying. It almost seems like you can hold us to our obligation if you move like this, and then that way we don't have no wiggle room. That's what it really sounds like to me. I yield, bro. It's long. The object of our organization
is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens.
And that's American citizens, not U.S. citizens. Because remember, in the first letter to be read in every meeting, it says American citizens, which is really letting you know, because even him saying posterity, he's tying you back in the preamble to we the people of the United States, which is different from United States of America. The United States of America owes its allegiance to we the people of the United States. So the United States of America is the trustees that owe their allegiance to the Continental Congress. So when people say, oh, the Continental Congress doesn't exist, yes, it does. It exists when Moors like myself and my brothers and other conscious Moors speak how we're speaking now. All we need to do is just further enforce what needs to be done. Make these public trustees do their job. They have gotten way too comfortable because there hasn't been too many people really forcing them to their obligation. It seems like they'll only listen to people in yarmulkes and then try to war against those of us in turbans and fezzes. That doesn't make sense. I yield.
A national organization with a Rotarian complexion everyone can relate to, as it relates to branch temples, became obvious with the increasing numbers of inquiries from men and women in different sections of the country concerning the purpose of the organization. There are branch temples in 15 different states at this time.
Look at that. All right. I yield, bro. I'm trying to, just in case people want to see, like, what was those notes? What was those? I already said that. Name change, name correction, or whatever, right? Moorish Holy Temple of Science, adopted as his corporate name, Moorish Science Temple of America. I already kind of explained that. Because it's like, okay, we have the civic side, but in order for us to, make sure nobody tries to step on us, we'll adopt as our corporate name, which is by Religious Corporation Act Affidavit, which means it's in harmony with Bill of Right 1, as far as there is no law establishing nor prohibiting the free exercise of religion. So that doesn't mean that the Moorish Science Temple of America is under the thumb of the governor of Illinois. Remember, at the top of all so-called governments, it's the people. And in their corporate jurisdiction, they may call the people the electorate. They may call the people residents. They may call the people voters. They may call the people citizens. That is not what the people call themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they call the people themselves. Well, the people don't call themselves that. Let me say that. Just like how the Haudenosaunee called themselves Haudenosaunee. It was the French that called them Iroquois, or some people say Iroquois. And then you got people out here with copper tone skin foolishly saying, I'm Iroquois. You didn't speak French. If you are those people that the French call Iroquois, then you would be calling yourself Haudenosaunee. I yield, bro.
Since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation, and an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed in the Cook County Recorder's Office of Illinois.
So this again is in harmony with Bill of Right 1. It is not putting you under the thumb of anyone. And again, the saying changed is being able to just hurry up and get to the point for people who do not comprehend adopted as its corporate name. What you mean by adopted as its corporate name? Look, dumbass. We mean change. I mean, brother and sister, we mean change. We just want to say change because that's how you comprehend it, even though that's not what we really see it as, because it says adopted as its corporate name in our authority on the religious affidavit. It didn't say the Moorish Holy Temple of Science changed its name from Moorish Holy Temple of Science to Moorish Science Temple of America. No, it says adopted. However, in this Moorish leader's historical message to America is obviously being said this way to just say it in brief and to hurry up and get the message across to illiterates. I yield.
Inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran, or the Quran, however you pronounce it, we have it as the revealed word of God Allah. We shall foster the principles of its teachings among our members. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution.
See, I said American citizens. Even when you sit up here and said, make our members better citizens. That's what I said. Not you, that's not. It's talking about American. Talking about the continent, not some corporation. But again, you got people out here who, this Islam, I just like to give honors to the prophet. I just like to give honors to our Supreme Grand Sheikh, Supreme Grand Governor Islam. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You're an idiot. You do not comprehend these lessons. You're a jailbird who hasn't taken the time to go and rehabilitate oneself in their own mind without the influence of another man overwatching your growth. And y'all supposed to be somebody. Somebody's supposed to be intimidated because you did time, because you knew how to make stupid ass decisions. And then get put in somebody's correctional facility where you didn't belong because according to statute, which is the only way you can be in there, you must be statutorily obligated to be held to a statutory infraction, but you didn't know how to defend yourself because you ain't studied that way, did you? No. And then you're not doing a great service, period, to the people at large because you're not doing what we're doing here. You ain't trying to link up with us, are you? If so, then numbers out in the open there. It's a lot of work that we can do and a lot of work that can be done. It's not even hard. The problem is a lot of you old heads' ego is in the way. That's all that is. Y'all ego in the way. And then when brothers such as ourselves who come across that's younger than you, then you get this old bull jealousy and envy that kind of pop up that you can't really control it. Kind of tough for you. And that's why I trust that I trust and I speak and I invoke that I and my brothers do not at all, because it's not our character, be like that. We get to our 60s and 70s and all we can do is just hate on the youth that comprehend where Prophet Noble Drew Ali has been presented. I yield, bro. Islam.
The Mohammedan religion is the least appreciated and probably the most misunderstood of the world's great religions. This is especially true in our Western world. Try to understand what Mohammedanism stands for and some of the things it has contributed to the world.
For real. And remember, Maha, mead. Maha means great. Mead is measure. So real Mohammedanism is someone being able to measure, calculate, measure. The great measurers But no. We don't remember when we did the lesson in Clock Destiny Book 1, just what, this Friday just passed, Friday before last, and we showed the picture of Muhammad. Like, come on, man. These things are simple. These things are easy. They're not hard. Make the connections. Stop listening to people who just want you to sing church hymns, replacing Jesus with Prophet Noble Drew Ali and God with Allah, banging a tambourine, singing Moor Science Temple of America hymns. I don't see in this 4-page letter that this is the Moorish leader's historical message to America. Did you see bang a tambourine, sing church hymns, replacing Jesus with Prophet Noble Drew Ali? I ain't see that yet. I ain't see one paragraph that said do that yet. Nor is there one paragraph that makes my discernment go, that's what the prophet meant right there. No, it's not doing it. It's not doing it. Mother Sar says, indeed. And she's laughing. She said, truth be told. Indeed, Mother Sar. I yield, bro. Islam.
Muhammad was the founder of the Mohammedan religion, or a realignment with the cosmos. It originated 13 centuries ago on Arabian Peninsula, where the streams of commerce and culture met and mingled in the Middle Ages, where the markets of exchange were stationed for treasures of India and the products of the Mediterranean coast.
Look at that, where the streams of commerce and culture met. Sounds like here. But I yield.
There, this religion was established in an unprecedented short period of 20 years.
In the unprecedented short period of 20 years. I yield.
And unlike many other religions, without the aid of any royal patronage and support.
Which means there wasn't nobody putting their bread behind it. It was like independent. It was like an independent rap career. No major label behind it. Go ahead, I yield.
Buddhism had its Ahsoka.
That, in other words, Ahsoka is who put their bread behind Buddhism. That's who gave the royal patronage and support. Continue.
Judaism, it's Joshua.
Joshua was the one who had the royal patronage and support behind Judaism. I yield.
Christianity, it's Constantine.
Constantine is the one who had the royal patronage and support for Christianity. Continue, I yield.
But Mohammedanism had no person of royal rank and power to assist in its establishment and spread.
That sounds like that must be something that's in harmony with nature. Let me say that, in harmony with nature. In harmony with nature. I yield. Continue, bro. Sounds very zodiacal. Go ahead, I yield.
Today, this religion is acknowledged by nearly 250 million souls and extends over an area equal to 1/3 of the globe. From Arabia.
That was bars. Souls rhyme with globe. I'm just saying, the way you read it too, it was in rhyme, bro. That was bars. Go ahead, I yield.
Bars. From Arabia, it spread eastward over Persia, Turkestan, Afghanistan, westward across Syria, Asia Minor, and Turkey, southward to Africa, covering more than half of that continent. It found its way to India and beyond to the islands of Sumatra, Java, and Borneo.
And that's in harmony with chapter 47. That's what I got that bracketed there to the right of that paragraph that Brother Sean just read. I yield. Continue, bro. I yield.
To the early representatives of this faith, the world's debt is incalculably great.
For it was so that means the world owes the Mohammedans. It owes the great measurers. Go ahead, I yield.
For it was they who transmitted the treasures of Greek literature from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance.
And just let's be clear, I'm not big on any isms, and no disrespect to those that may say Mohammedanism or Islamism. I've studied well enough that once I study something and I graduate past the thought of that particular term, I really don't utilize it or employ it. because I comprehend that something like Islamism was only a tool to spank the people with in order to get them back in harmony with the rightful way of being on the planet. Remember, Big Ben Bay, Emmanuel Ben Bay Muali, who has been written in U.S. Reconstructed History as Benjamin Banneker, was the one who empowered the dark priesthood to spank the people's behind in order to do what it do, which then further empowered your John D. Rockefellers and Frederick T. Gates to have the so-called educational system that they have to further carry out Big Ben Bay's disciplinary actions. You know, it's gonna happen. It is what it is. Don't get mad at me. It's just things as you know it now is really just all a part of spanking the people until they get themselves correct spiritually. I yield. Metaphysically correct. I yield.
For it was they who transmitted the treasures of Greek literature from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance. They who originated the graceful forms of which the Taj Mahal and the Alhambra are the most famous examples.
Because they the great measurers. We the best. We be great measuring like you know, because we the best. Anyway, go ahead. I yell.
It was they who contributed to the sciences of algebra and chemistry, astronomy and medicine.
Hold on, time out. Hold on, Prophet ain't bring them sun, moon, and stars, Mo. This is why, again, those jailbird Moor Science Temple of America, comma, INC period, beings need to shut the fuck up. Probably didn't bring the sun, moon, and stars, Mo, but your Moorish American prayer says by night and by day. How do you know by night and by day? Don't mention the sun. You better mention something else and be able to say how to recognize the difference between night and day. And this is why I just say people say stuff out of dogma belief systems thinking. They have a dogma belief system thinking and then try to use that to try to control other people around them because they lack self-control within themselves. I yell.
They who dotted the Saracen Empire with the universities and who built at Baghdad and Cairo the most renowned universities of the world. During those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, when the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities, save those who, that word, theological, causing the talent that reproduces to supplant the generation that creates.
Another, yep. So it's like, let's just be copycats and get rid of these creators. So let me see if I got that right. When the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities during those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, right? That's that priesthood I'm talking about, right? That evil priesthood. When the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities, right? I'm saying save those that were theological, causing the talent that reproduces. So in other words, they just reproducing, they're just copying. To supplant, which means to replace, to move this out, and we're going to put this here, the generation that creates. So there were people that was just being creative, and it's like the ecclesiastical despots, right? Your evil priesthood, your dark priesthood. That's the ecclesiastical despots. Despotism is another way of saying, tyrannical rulership. You're a tyrant. So they like, fuck creativity. We just gonna copy and do what we can to, just use the copies. And then we gonna just remix and put our own little story over top of it. But anyway, go ahead. I yell Mohammedans dead.
All right, Mohammedans did all in their power to encourage and stimulate research in every branch of human inquiry.
Look at that. I love being a great measurer. What about you, Brother Sean? How does being a great measurer? You enjoy it, man? You enjoy being a great measurer?
I love it. Yeah.
And I know, right? I yield, man.
The Moors, or Mohammedans, added to the beauty and grandeur of Spain.
Look at that. I yield.
For centuries, art, science, literature, and chivalry flourished among them, while the rest of Europe was still in the gloom of the Dark Ages.
Look at that. If it wasn't for us great measurers,
the Moors were the most ingenious and industrious of the subjects of Spain.
You're welcome, world. You're welcome. I yield.
Their expulsion from Spain in 1610 was one of the chief causes of decadence of that country, for both agriculture and industry fell into decay after their departure.
So the decadence, which means things got worse. So that means when you don't have great measurers like us around, and you're not listening to great measurers like us, stuff just gonna go into decay. This is why we great measurers need to be heard by these people, need to be listened to by these people who think they're law enforcement agents. No, you're a policy enforcing agent. That's it. You're not an officer. So the policy enforcing agents are that. They are the ones that need to be listening to this great measuring mind. Those that call themselves attorneys, lawyers, need to be listening to this great measuring mind. Oh, so you think you're a magistrate or a judge? Guess what? You need to be listening to this great measuring mind. You think you're a part of some commission, some board, White House, cabinet? Guess what you need to be listening to? This great measuring mind. I yield, bro. Islam.
Mohammedanism makes no distinction between high and low, rich and poor. It is like the sky. It has room for all.
Look at that. Look at that. It is like the sky. That's another cosmological, astrological reference. Okay, I yield.
Indeed, that's what we went over yesterday in our Quran countdown in chapter, was that 10?
Yeah, because we're the best, bro. I don't know if you recognize it yet, but we're the best.
I see. Yeah, we the best. I'm gonna have to just post that one video daily. We the best. When he's like, who? 7 Hill Star. We the best.
Basically.
All right. The Quran should be of interest to all readers.
Whoa, to how many readers?
To all.
Not just
everybody.
11. That's not a 0 and 2 1s. Let's say all.
Everybody.
Wow. Everybody. Okay, I yield.
The Quran should be of interest to everybody. Quran should be of interest to everybody. It is the Bible of the Mohammedans, ruling over the customs and actions of over 200 millions of people. It is a work of importance.
Go ahead. What'd you say, bro? Go ahead.
It is a work of importance, whether considered from a religious, philosophical, or literary viewpoint.
Man, that's 3 different viewpoints. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's a pretty flexible work there. Go ahead, I yield.
In the promotion of plans for the betterment of mankind, there has ever been some kind of opposition.
Yes, it has. Because every time somebody wants to do something to help assist bettering the situation, here comes some haters talking about, oh, Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a dead man. Stop riding the dead man's phallus. The real prophetess is the Sybil. And shut the fuck up.
Take that back. Oof. I'm gonna eat those words.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And strange as it may seem, such opposition has come from sources where there were no ideas or the lack of courage to force attention to ideas. If I could just get you to think, you'd save yourselves.
Yeah, that's why I said, bro, people are inspired. Like, because remember, before Seven Hill started, before there was a brother Hasan, right? People were listening to Brother Taj and like C. Freeman. They're like, oh, those brothers deep. Oh, I gotta study. Oh, they wasn't trying to speak up and they were just showing up to class. Then here comes Brother Hasan, speaking up, asking questions. Oh, so you mean like when you say this, you mean this, and that, and it's like, dang, this brother get it? Like that? How is it that he get it, man? That brother shot. And now that demonstration is what inspired people. Now, like, I can do it too. Let me put on my I can do it too cape. I can do it too. Maybe, just maybe, I'm that portion of prophecy that's supposed to do that. I'm just assisting in forcing the attention to things. Don't turn that into, oh, I'm gonna start my own Moorish movement. I got the Moorish American consulate. I'm the consulate general. I got AMPAC. I got this group over here. We USAR. Shut the fuck up. You didn't have any ideas. You lack courage. You're being motivated by envy of seeing Brother Hasan and his brothers do what we do. But you ever think that maybe we're doing what our mother sent here to do? You didn't come out of our mom's vaginas. Your mission's different. Maybe your mission is to, I'm the consular general, and then you get pinned to the rail by 10 brown shirts. Maybe your mission your mother sent you on is, we're going camping. Let's dress in army uniforms, and then you're on a highway near the Massachusetts Commonwealth, and they're calling it the Great Standoff on 95 North. Maybe that's what your mother sent you here to do, to be an example of what not to do. Maybe your mother sent you here to be a former FBI agent, and your brother is a former FBI agent who held the door for George Bush, and you're like, we're Moorish American consulate. Another example of what not to do. Hold on, Brother Hasan, but Brother Todd said, don't follow me. That's what Brother Todd said. That's how I hear it. Mother Zahar says, all those groups and no remedy. I know. The closest thing to remedy is me suggesting people go to lawful living so that they can at least practice the mindset that they need to continue to practice, so we can then help to facilitate an answer. Because if you're Moorish American, you're only going to be able to do it as Moorish Americans, even though, where we go, sometimes people are just like, well, I don't have to be anything to do. That's fine. You don't. But I'm going to make sure that Moors know, like, don't go down that path with that mindset. Respectfully. I yield, bro. That's long.
Whether in church, state, or the social community, any attempt to do anything out of the usual way seldom fails to receive criticism.
Yep. Oh, I mean, don't we know it? Don't we know it? I yield.
Not because the course cannot be pursued legally, or that is it unreasonable, but because it has been considered in terms as new.
It considered as in terms as it's not new. Just nobody ever had, again, nobody, they didn't have any idea. They lacked the courage to force attention to it. So it seems new to them, but it's not new. I yield.
All right. The Moorish sign symbol of America has received some opposition and criticism. The main opposition has come from certain Christian ministers. They have expressed themselves as being opposed to our propagation of the Mohammedan religion, possibly because the promotion of the Mohammedan faith among our people in the United States is considered by them in terms as something new.
And it's not new. It's just you got slaves talking about, oh no, this ain't the Jesus stuff. I mean, Jesus is a great measurer. That means Jesus is a Mohammedan. However, do you recognize that Jesus is actually the I am identity pertaining to your consciousness, tied to your endocrine system, connected to your endocrine system? If you don't know that, then all you're doing is needing to, what's the word? Shut the fuck up. I yell.
Whatever the reasons may be for their opposition, the legal right to oppose citizens, individuals, and organizations alike for their religious belief does not exist in the United States.
Yo, what?
Don't
That's
exist.
Bill of Right 1. That's Bill of Right 1.
Period.
Whatever the reason may be for their opposition, the legal right to oppose citizens, individuals, or organizations alike for their religious belief does not exist in the United States. That's Bill of Right 1 right there. That's why I keep saying, shut the fuck up. Like, that's why I keep saying it. Even those, well, we both sound typical of America, Mo. You talking about our religious, you're not a religious organization. You're trying to remix what Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought, and you're showing that you lack comprehension pertaining to what was originally brought and initially intended. Same goes for your Moorish American consulate. Same goes for your consulate general guys. Same for your follow the Moriscos that they falsely call themselves Rise of the Moors, whoever all bullshit. All perfect examples of what not to do. USAR, all perfect examples of what not to do. How many Grand Major temples are there? We temple number one. No, we temple number one. No, we're temple number one. All great examples of what not to do. That's internal opposition right there. All these people talking about they enforcing the law. They enforcing Prophet Noble Drew Ali's law. How? When you're in opposition amongst yourselves. That's tough. Okay. The door of religious freedom.
The door of religious freedom, made by the American Constitution, swings open to all, and people may enter through it and worship as they desire.
Mm-hmm.
Without religious freedom, no search for truth will be possible.
Jesus, Bruce Lee Christ, man, ooh, that's a heavy one right there. So all that. The prophet ain't bring that, Mo. Are you encroaching upon my first bill of rights? Because I'm just in search for truth. Like, yo. Anyway, we teach. Even in our funny examples, we teach. We give people ways of thinking, and then, because sometimes I see how people, will try to use what we say, like what we just said just right there, and try to use that against you know what I mean, us to try to, oh, see, well, it's just like this. And it's like, no, no, it's not. You're an idiot. You're not as bright as we are. Stop it. Okay, I yield, bro.
Without religious freedom, religious progress would be checked, and we would no longer march forward toward the nobler life which the future holds for the races of men.
Jesus Christ, man. Continue, man.
Without religious freedom, there will be no inspiration to lift our heads and gaze with fearlessness into the vast beyond, seeking a hope eternal.
See, raising our heads, right? Gazing to what? Sounds like some star things going on there. Gaze with fearlessness. Sounds like, hey, astrologers. Do y'all see that? But private ain't made the sun, moon, and stars, move. Shut the fuck up. I yield.
It is a sad weakness in us, after all, to oppose our fellow men for their religious beliefs. And if they are angels who record the sorrows of men as well as their sins, they certainly know how many and deep are the useless sorrows that spring forth from such opposition.
That's, and now you see, I got also, you about to finish reading where it's highlighted, that's CMB's intro to the circle of life, right? It's consistent. I'm pointing out consistencies. That's why I put references there. Hey, John Alexander Dix Bay is in the chat. He says, peace and love, family. And he says, honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Indeed, man. Indeed, bro. Supreme honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. See, look at that. And, it's no secret. John Alexander Dix Bay, as I always say, because he's an Albion son who has taken his own time to meet Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his literature, taking his own time to meet CMB in his literature. And I know a lot of people out there, you can't trust them pale skins. Is he trusting himself? That's what we're even reading about here with what Prophet Noble Drew Ali's letter is saying. This is about, do you trust yourself? You want to trust the truth? Guess who the truth is? Truth is you. Do you trust you? Are you able to do the first principle to get to yourself? First principle is love. What's the second principle? Truth. Truth can only come inherently after love. So that means, do you love yourself in order to trust yourself? Man, you concerned about this being and that being. I got to be honest. John Alexander Dix Bay is on some. He's more of a Moorish American than Moorish Americans that I know. Honestly, I'm keeping it band with you. However, I yield the floor.
Possibly, love and time will cancel our ancient hatreds in this regard and prove that in mankind, tolerance is better than unwarranted opposition.
Yeah, so instead of giving, like, for example, John Alexander Dix Bay this unwarranted opposition, I'm going to use the opposite of hate. Be loving and tolerant. Point out the fact that Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I'm a universal prophet and my philosophy is universal. I just came to you Moors first because you need me the most. Doesn't mean that the Albion's prophet isn't Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Some of y'all don't have to get over yourselves. It's just that the Moorish Science Temple of America was helped to facilitate the unconscious copper-toned people to hurry up and get back to a mindset where they'll be able to help facilitate the unity that needs to take place on the planet at large. I yield.
In connection with our religious aims and beliefs, we must promote economic security.
Whoa, we must promote what?
Economic security.
Economy, eco, from the Greek, oikos, O-I-K-O-S, oikos, right? Meaning house. Nomi, from the Greek or the Latin, nomia, which is law. So economy is house law. So we must promote house law security. Hey, yo, if that ain't Libra and Capricorn and Cancer. Cancer, oikos. Libra, nomi. Well, really, Capricorn ecos, right? Let's do that, right? Even though Cancer is real estate, but we're going to give security to Cancer and Nomi to Libra. Look at that. That's 3 cardinal zodiacs right there. Promote, right? In other words, to put it at the head, that could be Aries. Look, just in the terminology, promote economic security. I see Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra. That's amazing. But then again, that's my mindset. You don't have to believe anything I say. Please, we don't want you to believe anything we're saying. Brother Tyrone says, peace and love, everyone. Peace and love, Brother Tyrone. Guys, remember, after this, we're going right into New Moon in Capricorn. I yield, bro. Islam.
The preaching of economic security among us is by no means, by no means, as widespread and intensive as the circumstances demand. No other one thing is more needed among us at this time than greater economic power.
But you got people out here on the internet, you know, because they might still punch a clock for someone, work in the school system, which means technically they're still a statutory agent. But since, you know, they may have a fez, they might call themselves a grand sheik or something, they're going to hate because maybe their t-shirt business didn't work out. Maybe their rap career didn't work out. Maybe their cooking career didn't work out. Something didn't work out for them. So what they do is they spend their time hating on what needs to be promoted. And then a lot of people don't know this message, this Moorish leaders' historical message to America, so they continue to support people that are really against economic security because they weren't able to establish it for themselves. You about to see what we're supposed to be doing when people like Seven Hill Star exist and we're like, yo, donate, yo, schedule a session. Especially with what it is that we do with astrology. Is you serious? Man, we got that answer. Seriously. For real, man. How much work we've done and continue to do. I yield, bro. Islam.
Better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls, and bigger incomes will follow our economic security.
But you can't do that, though, because you got Moors that want to keep all their finances from their websites to themselves. They got to keep shopping. It's kind of hard to open these things up to our community because people aren't trusting each other. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are just Moorish American by attribute and say, well, the prophet said, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself, which means, you know, go and try to, you know, secure your own self economically. Don't try to come barking up my tree. That's why the way I set up Seven Hill Star, I made it, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, if we could have a network, some kind of way of, you know, astrologers, you know what I mean? And I'll make it so that I'm not in any of the astrologers' pockets. However, we can have our own means and own protocol and certifying how we go about giving that protocol and assisting people in knowing themselves based on the astrology so they can be, you know, seeing that comparison and that merging between reading their astrological literature and their divine and national literature, divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Tying that in with the astrological literature from CM Bay to give themselves a firm foundation upon which they can continue their journey towards that chief cornerstone. I yield, Islam.
We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power.
And so you got people out here on the internet hating. Same people on the outside of the nation who claim it's a joke and unreal. So they hate because they weren't successful in their own little quote unquote business. See why we're not winning, because we don't have economic power. That's why we're not winning. It's very simple, man. And then you got so many people that probably come across this, but they're gonna put on a short little kufi, short tarbus, call themselves 112 and a half keys or something. And you want to have dinner with them, well, you got to spend $119 to have a dinner with 112 and a half keys. This brother's so sharp and intelligent. Okay. All right. Man. People just, I guess you guys like the Negro Black colored consciousness tours. Anyway, go ahead. I yield.
A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them, nor can they attain to a genuine enjoyment of the spiritualities of life.
Man, you need to read that again. That's heavy.
A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them, nor can they attain to a genuine enjoyment of the spiritualities of life.
Yo, woo to the way, bro. You ain't gonna get there. Too busy hating on those of us that's doing the work. Yo, bro, it's fine.
Our men, women, and children should be taught to believe in the capacity of our group to succeed in business, in spite of the trials and failures of some of them.
Look at that, man. Look at that. But you got people out here, oh, my t-shirt business didn't work out and I can't rap either. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? People stuff ain't work out. T-shirt business ain't work out. Rap is bullshit. So some people got to punch a clock, man. And so then they're going to hate on anyone else that's doing something. Because they really hate themselves. And these are the people you look up to? Okay. I'm wrong, though. I'm wrong for pointing it out, though. I'm not right because I'm pointing it out. Okay. I'm just saying, man. Who are you supporting? And why? Some of y'all probably never even really read this letter with this type of thinking behind it. I yield, bro. It's long.
Trials and failures in business are by no means connected to any particular group of people. Some business ventures of all people fail.
Correct. That don't mean be a bitch and don't keep trying. Be some punk motherfucker. Oh, man. Okay. I yield.
We have many men and women among our people who are qualified both by training and experience, who are shining lights in the business world of all the people.
But yet what we'll do is we still won't find a means and ways to help get ourselves in position to be able to, since there's an occupation, then use that military script termed Federal Reserve notes and use it as a tool to put ourselves in a better position. Because we're too busy hating on one another. I'm like, I mean, Brother Sean, let me, bro, with your experience with Seven Hill Star, I know you're not a $6 million man a year yet, even though it's set up that way, right? But is any of your experience with Seven Hill Star, to the however you want to answer it, with what Seven Hill Star has done, is it in harmony with what Prophet Noble Drali is saying here in his message, his historical message to America?
Indeed. Yeah, it's Once again, it's showing unity and, being our charts and, having business ventures for all of our people. And so that we can not only assist ourselves, but for someone who might be a great carpenter or, all these other various things that, we need as business ventures for our people. We have the tools to assist the people in seeing what they can do, and yeah, it's like, is there real unity or not, or is there only unity among certain groups rather than all,
Yuppity duppity. I yield, bro. Yes.
Shoot, when you asked me that, I shouldn't even said that. I should have just read right here. It is a sad weakness, and that's it is a sad weakness in us as a people that we have withheld the very encouragement, support, and patronage, that would have made some of our worthy business ventures a grand success.
Because people are too busy hating, bro. Withholding the very encouragement, support, and patronage. I bet you people supported. I bet you people supported watching Club Shay Shay and Cat Williams more than. And trust me, I didn't even want to make the video that I made, brother Sean, pertaining to that. However, I figured the people's mindset is so weak that if they just saw something pertaining to Cat Williams, they would go and watch it. But you see how we peppered in that astrology in there, like, hey, there you go.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna check it out till you kind of kept talking to me. I'm like, all right, let me see what's up, because usually I just,
Yeah, we usually and I wouldn't have looked at it if my consort didn't say anything, because normally I'd be like, man, fuck these people. I don't give a fuck about these people, man. I'm only really concerned about, are we paying attention to that which was given to us over 100 years ago from Prophet Noble Drew Ali? And are we really defending it?
And then add on, are we supporting those who we know have the truth and those that have the platforms and networks to link everyone together to really get this message out? I mean, all those views, and just a short matter of days, all the shares, but when it comes to the truth or anything else, that's not controversial or whatever, it's crickets, and that's how it's always have been. And it's like, it's just, yeah, yeah, that's all I really say,
I yield, bro. I yield, though.
Right. And worst of all, have joined in the condemnations of them when they fail.
Yeah, that's what people do. Look, that's what a lot of people do with Seven Hill stuff. Like, say, all we got to do is not have the website. I think the website just recently, you know what I mean, we didn't have enough finances or whatever to keep the website going, and then GoDaddy just keep going up on it. So now instead of $15.89 a month, now they want 35 something a month, right, to keep the website up. Even though we know we can sit here and put together certain letters and things like that, but we're going to eventually just have to sue people, because no matter how much we point out the law to them, these people are like, well, you just have to sue us then. It's like, okay, I see what this is, right? But I think the website was down for what, maybe like 4 or 5 days, maybe 6 days or whatever it was down or whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty sure most people was like, look, it's down. And then we're getting text. I was getting a text from somebody like, yo, your website not active? You've never sent any finances to support Seven Hill Star, but yet you're asking about the website being down? Get off my dick. Go mind your motherfucking business. I yield, bro. Islam. Brother Derek says, peaceful greetings, everyone. Peaceful greetings, Brother Derek.
Peace. Except in cases of actual dishonesty, discourtesy, lack of service, and actual unreliability, our business enterprises and every field of endeavor should have fullest of confidence, cooperation, and patronage whenever and wherever they can be given.
Look at that. I think Seven Hill Star is more than deserving of that. But go ahead, bro. What'd you say?
More, yeah. I say, yeah, more than deserving. Let's see. Read carefully the doctrines of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It contains our hopes, aims, rules, and articles of religion. Every member should have a copy. In conclusion, I urge you to remember there is work enough for all to do in helping to build a better world. The problems of life are largely social and economic.
Read that again.
The problems of life are largely social and economic. One more time,
One more time for the
voice.
people in the back.
The problems of life are largely social and economic.
Jesus, Bruce Lee Christ. And we already know that we can solve our social and economic problems with astrology. I don't know why we can't just look at what Prophet Noble Drowley wrote, what C.M. Bay wrote, and be like, oh my goodness, I see the connection. But no, you got people like, nah, Mo, see the project kick C.M. Bay out of the temple, Mo. Shut the fuck up.
Man, all I see is chapter 10. What was it like? The minute or verse like 23, 24, like, just give your life in sacrificial service to Allah, which is everyone. That's all I'm seeing right here in this part right here.
Yeah,
No, really chapter 10 and all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bruh, that's why I said, yo, taking your time to meet Prophet Noble Drowley and his literature immediately makes one go, what the fuck is these other Moors doing? Then if they're not really seeing this and then moving a certain way, then what's all this secret squirrel, homeboy, hideout, hangout type of stuff that happens in the Moorish movement? Which is why so many people in their Negro Black colored mindset are doing their best to glean from that which Prophet Noble Drowley has set up for us, and then they're going to try to start their own Negro, Black, colored, African American, American Indian illogical fallacy of a group and movement somewhere, which is never going to work. Ever. However, I yield, bro. Peaceful greetings, Mother Janelle. Mother Janelle Blashout says peaceful greetings. Peaceful greetings to you, Mother.
All right. So the problems of life are largely social and economic. In a profound sense, they are moral and spiritual. Have lofty conceptions of your duties to your country and fellow man in general, and especially with those with whom you deal. You got chapter 7. From the Holy Quran, circle 7. Okay.
Yep. I was just, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was looking at all these comparisons, bro. That's why I said, man, that's why this joint is heavily marked up. I yield, bro.
All right. This includes such honesty and righteousness as will cause you to put yourself in the other fellow's place. Look for the best in others and give them the best that is in you.
Exactly, bro. Instead of, so what, you failed in your t-shirt business and your rap career is subpar. So what, you no longer are a military guy or whatever, and then you want to try to take charge of the situation by saying you're taking people camping, but you're getting them abducted on 95. So what if you weren't able to have the mansion you want, but now you're like, I'm a consular general guy. No, you're not. No, you're not. All of you are those that missed the mark. All of you are those that completely do not see what Prophet Noble Drowley is talking about. Because somebody like me can get it. Me. I can get it. And it's correct. Shoot, then yeah, I do think anybody can get it. Which is probably why a lot of people out here made their little stupid groups. Their little Moorish American consulate groups, their AMPAC groups, their USAR groups, their Fall of the Moriscos, falsely called Rise of the Moor groups, their I'm the Consular General, their Maryland guy groups, and all that. It's all failures. And am I being the one that's back here that's speaking, I'm speaking against their failure? No, they were never supposed to be in the first place. Why? Because they were something that was avoiding the foundation. And that's what this Moorish leaders historical message to America is about. It's about the foundation from which we all supposed to be building. But no, all these other little groups that I've enumerated are those that want to take charge of this situation. When all we had to do was meet the prophet in his literature. That's it. That's all we had to do. All we had to do was meet the prophet in his literature, and then be able to come together and move things a certain way. But a lot of people's ego is in the way, though. And then we'll say, "Oh, that's your ego's in the way, Hasan." No, it's not. We give access to Prophet Noble Drew Ali University freely, and there's tons of Moors out there, especially your old California type pimp Moors that want to sit there and resell it. Just giving an example. I'm not just saying all Moors near Khalifa are like that, because there's some honorable ones, right? Shout out to brother Al Noor Latifal. That's a good brother, right? That's a good brother. And then the music that he's done with, I don't think people should call themselves Ali at all. At least the music that I heard that brother Al Noor Latif has done with brother Ali Khan Bey, I like those brothers, honestly. And that's all. I don't know them. No, that just come from a couple conversations, but definitely had real in-depth brotherly conversations with brother Al Noor Latif though. Seriously. However, like I said, shout out to those brothers, but not speaking about them in terms of, like California con artists that'll take, Prophet Noble Drew Ali University and then try to, yeah, I'm going to break you off a little bit of this PDF from here and just tell me if you need some more. You guys got to stop that, man. Seven Hill Star freely does things, man. We are freely sharing information every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, freely giving people access to Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. And it ain't just books in there. Books, videos, softwares, classes. So people can be able to do, if you really look in that joint, you could run your homeschool with no problem from Prophet Noble Drew Ali University if you got a thinking mind. Anybody disagree, say, put a 2 in the chat. But if you agree, put a 1 in the chat. At least 14 of you here. Was 17. I don't even know where that many people come from. Usually it's only like 6, 7, 8. So I'm thankful and grateful for the doubling in numbers. Appreciate you guys hitting like and sharing. But I mean, seriously, anybody that you already heard. If you are in agreement that what we provide is more than enough, put a 1. If you think I'm bullshitting, you can put a 2. I yield, bro, Islam, because then we're gonna get to this new moon in Capricorn right after this.
Have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. Yeah, stop all that hating shit. Beating down mothers beating down mothers. Have a deeper appreciation. It shows that y'all are hateful and don't respect women. Brighten the hopes of our youth in order that their courage be increased to dare and do wondrous things.
That's why we have the first astrology coloring book ever. First astrology coloring book, right? First astrology coloring book, Astro Aura cubes, and then these things inspired AstroLogyStreet, the very first astrology puppet show for children. Made by who made that? Me. Come on, man. You want to talk about who's in harmony? Anyhow, I yield. Appreciate you guys putting the 1 in there. Appreciate you, brothers. Go ahead, I yield.
Adhere at all times to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am your affectionate leader. I shall continue to labor day and night, both in public and private, for your good. Thereby
both in what and what?
Both in public and private.
Both in where? What did he say? Yo, 100 years ago. Go ahead, man. I you.
Both in public and private for your good. thereby contributing to the welfare of our country and its people as a whole.
Man, y'all seeing this? It's that 4-page letter from Prophet Noble Drew Ali, termed the Moorish leader's historical message to America. Let's get into this. Let's jump into this thing. All right. Peaceful greetings to you, Donnell and James. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Right. So I'm going to stop my screen share here. Questions, comments, and or suggestions. Like, really, come on. Questions, comments, and or suggestions. We got to get into this new moon in Capricorn portion in this live. Brother Sean, you got anything you want to add on there, bro? I'm all in.
Man, you know, it's nothing that we haven't shared, and you know, shout out to those who have read it. And it's like, for me, every time, you know, I read it, I get more motivated and just things become more clear on, you know, just where I stand and how things are really not being followed as they should have. Like, instead of all the different groups, all the hate, disunity, it's more easier to just go with what was already laid down as the foundation rather than trying to be the superstar, or I'm going to do this, you know, so I can look like this, and just go with what's already been laid down. You know, it's like you're already having the foundation for a house, but you're trying to lay a foundation on top of foundation, then build the house. Like, no, just build upon what was already laid down for us. Because, you know, when you read the historical message and then you read the divine warning to the nations, man, it's like, how not? How could you not be motivated and inspired to really do something? You know, how could you not want to continue to do better and really be the opposition against the avalanche of lies that have shoved upon our people annually, but daily? How could you not want to spread the message, or, you know, do something in your part, whether it's being a communicator, whether it's sharing, you know, like, and really be about this life, like, that we have so wanted for so long, you know, like, I didn't hear about Prophet Noble Drew Ali until I came to the Moorish movement. It's like, why did I hear about all these other quote unquote black leaders, but I never heard about Prophet Noble Drew Ali until I came into the movement? And then as I started doing my studies and research, I'm like, I can see why. Because it's game over. You know what I'm saying? Like, when folks start waking up, it's game over. And, you know, you start asking questions, and it's just a beautiful thing, man. Like, we're going to continue to keep doing what we do. And, you know, at some point, it's going to be widespread. And we already know that a lot of folks know, especially in these higher places or departments, but they're scared of you figuring it out. You scared of them thinking they're going to come for you. They scared of you of finding out who you are and your home and your resources and everything else. That's what they're scared of. So it's, you know, back to when he was going over the clock of destiny, you know, fear and ignorance. Folks want to argue about religion and this and that, and, you know, they don't really understand it or get it. And rather than adhering to love, they rather hate because they don't understand, or hate because it goes against everything they've been brought up upon, and they don't want to repent. They don't want to be responsible. And that's just not where we're at right now. As has been said, you know, the age of Aquarius, and things that have been hidden, you cannot see. Like, and we should be working more together all across the board. I don't see why there's still this hate or groupism or cliquism. Like, we're not looking to take charge of the situation. We can only keep pushing what the prophet brought. You feel me? Like, it's just, I see it so clear and so simple, but people, it's been made so hard, or really shunned down, or, you know, like, pushed to the side like it's nothing, and it's not nothing, it's everything. So, you know, a CTA, right? Call to action.
And by the way, I want to also say, when like John Alexander Dix Bay came in, he's the one that gifted me this wood card, right? He knows someone, and we're working on something else that I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Because he had proposed something to me about a year ago, and I was like, nah, but I'm really considering it now. But, you know, he has a buddy who will, you know, anything you want done in wood. You know what I'm saying? So got a picture of the prophet stained on this wood here. So that's what you've been seeing back here. So I wanted to also say shout out to John Alexander Dix Bay. Y'all don't know who he is, right? He is the doctor, the go-to doctor near the Maryland State Republic for Kip Can. Kip Can is one of the largest or most popular medical marijuana dispensaries near the Maryland State Republic. This beloved son in whom we're well pleased that I also call my bro, right? John Alexander Dix Bay has been on the news. Like anytime he's on the news, I make sure I record him and put him in Google Drive. Like, hey man, look man, you know what I'm saying? Even recently, you know, he'll grow his hair every few years and donate it for cancer because he's had a loved one who dealt with cancer. So he'll grow his hair and then he'll cut it and donate it for cancer. He's the reason why this exists behind me or whatever. And this is a gift that when he gave, I was like, man, that's just superly thoughtful. Because he also wanted me to see the work that, you know, his buddy does with, you know, the wood. And I was like, man, this is really dope. And I like the way it feels and everything, man. It's almost like not even a stain. It's almost like a burning, but type of etching I can feel also. It's really, really awesome, right? So shout out to John Alexander Dix Bay for this one, right? Yeah, oh, he's still in the chat. Yeah, gratitude, bro. Like I brag on John way more than he'll ever brag on himself. And I get it. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, so, and that's an Albion. Yeah, man, because sometimes Albions are just more Moorish American than some Moorish Americans. You know what I'm saying?
It.
Like
the prophet said it. The Europeans that helped me. Why aren't you?
See? Yeah, you say it again, brother Sean. Say it again.
The Europeans that helped me. Why aren't you?
And John has been he's one of the hugest supporters of Seven Hill Star. And it's a few of y'all. Mother Sahar, John Alexander Dix Bay, Brother Corey Stanley Bay. Of course, all the bros at Seven Hill Star. That you know, y'all, we don't count. We're always supporting ourselves. But just to list a few. Huge supporters. All righty. So I just wanted to just point out on this day, because it's apropos to say, he's the reason why this sits behind me. And I make sure it's definitely always there to be seen. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I make sure I don't knock it down. I always do my best to try not to knock it down, but I've knocked it down at least once. Like the chair, like, I'll try to catch it real quick. But yeah. So with that being said, you know, we're about to really jump into this. We're going to go into the second portion now, go into the new moon in Capricorn. Brother Sean is going to do a screen share. And we're going to do our global testimonies. All right. I think, Brother Sean, I got 1 through 3, 7 through 9 this time.
Indeed, yeah. I'm not 7th house in.
Indeed. So we're starting in the Leo zone, y'all, for the 11th January 2024, right? This is Central Standard Time we're looking at here for 0500 hours. 57 minutes, 24 seconds for North Platte, Nebraska. All righty. Shout out to Am Woman, right?
For real.
She's probably not looking at this, but for those of us as part of, you know, the lawful living community, that we're all laughing at that, right? So with that being said, guys, Jupiter and Taurus is ruling the ascendant, right? The ascendant, of course, is at the Virgo degree, right? 18 minus 12 is 6. So that gives us the 6 sign Virgo. Virgo degree, right? Jupiter's ruling it. It's in Jupiter's triplicity, obviously, and in Mercury terms, right? So just looking at that for the sun and moon being conjunct there at 20 degrees, 44 minutes, which is about 30, what we said, 34 minutes, 37 minutes past Deneb, which deals with, you know, benevolence, right?
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, just to give one brief keyword for that. So what we're looking at here with, if we were to look to Mercury and Jupiter, what we'll really see is this is a way that we can really establish self-security. And really the spirit pertaining to self-security, what we're going to do with that spirit pertaining to self-security, what we are going to do is say what needs to be said. This is the time, especially after this, and I get it, even Brother Sean had reminded me that Mercury is still within its retrograde shadow. All righty, it will not be outside of its retrograde shadow until about 3:20:57, I think. 3:20:57, which is that's PM Eastern on the 20th January 2024. All righty, where Mercury will be outside its retrograde shadow. But this is where I think we can begin to really go to assert ourselves. This is where we're going to go and assert ourselves, guys. Utilize our trustee acknowledgments. Make sure we're being consistent, not letting up with that. Our equitable interests, right? Equitable relief, equitable interest, or beneficial interest in whatever it is that's on this planet, and really hold these trustees to their obligation. Don't let them have wiggle room of, oh, everybody's got to pay. You got to give money. You got to give dollars. You got to give, USD in order to have this thing. And because anytime people say you have to do this in order to get this, in terms of what our ancestral estate is, because we would be able to support one another, businesses or whatever it is that we do, if we didn't have public trustees doing trustee malfeasance. For those that may be like, oh, I didn't know that. Well, you're still doing trustee malfeasance. And then for ones that do know, doing trustee fraud. All righty. So these people need to be put in order because they got you thinking you need to pay rent, you need to pay a mortgage, you need to pay electricity. You do not. That is not some sovereign citizen thinking. That is not some, oh, that's ideal. You don't want to follow the laws. You think the laws don't apply to you, Brother Hasan. No, when I actually read what you guys are supposed to be doing, I recognize that you guys are rogue. You're in breach of your trustee obligations. You just are. And you're going to have to get overthrown a grown temper tantrum when beings like myself and Brother Sean pointed out to you. You got to get over yourselves. Period. Get over yourselves. So what I'm seeing here just for this first one, this is where you guys can speak up. All right, these next ones are going to be flash testimonies. Let's bust a move. Going to see the sun-moon conjunction, the solar-lunar conjunction in the second house. See, Mars is ruling the ascendant here while in the second house with the sun and moon. So, guys, this is where we can allow ourselves to really reflect on financing, right? So what is that finance? Finance is a means to an end, all righty? And again, it's for the 11th January 2024. And this is going to be near the near Aru, French Polynesia, all righty? So this is where we are looking at making sure, all righty, we're making sure we're going to be able to expand our daily routine by really focusing on that means to an end that needs to be enforced by, again, I'm gonna keep saying this is going to be my theme, having these public trustees be held to their obligation. They're supposed to just make sure they're doing whatever accounting needs to be done between them and whatever. Let's say it's a grocery store. You shouldn't have to be worried about, oh, let me see how much finance I got to eat and stuff like that. The only reason we're doing that right now, even the reason why we're accepting donations the way we are so that we can eat to continue to do what we do for you guys freely, is because there is not an establishment between, let's say, for example, the Secretary of Agriculture and maybe the corporate of some grocery store, where they're supposed to be doing whatever, accounting transactions, and all they need to do is go, oh, okay, Hasan came in today and got this list of groceries. Okay, well, he got that, cool. All right, guys, here you go. Here's this funding and financing or whatever, so you guys can keep your books together, keep your accounting together, even though we know all the so-called food on the shelves is insured, all the food on the shelves that come from the earth in the first place. any product in any store is made from materials from Earth. I yield. Third, and again, we know that this is for within whatever zone. That was the Cancer zone. Now we're going into the Gemini zone, and here we're in the moon's joy, right? And here's where we can really communicate justice, all right? And in communicating that justice, especially with Venus there in the second house, really pointing out the values and communicating the values of really what the letter of the law is speaking about. So even those of you within the Gemini zone, right? This is near the Mata Utu, while it's in Futuna, right? Even here, there may be this glimpse of energy where people are going to have to be able to maybe round table or have some type of meeting and pointing out what's fair amongst the people that are there that are involved. And with that, I yield the floor to our beloved brother, in whom will well please, Brother Sean Ali Bell. Islam.
Yes, Brian, we get back to Taurus.
On to that Taurus zone.
All right, so we are at the Taurus zone near Gizo, Solomon Island. So we've got Sun and Moon in the fourth house here, right? And once again, just moving, I think the people will be able to establish a foundation or now move forward with the foundation they've been working on with the so-called first new moon of the new year, right? Corporately, fiscally speaking, right? And just really allow yourself to expand and be motivated with your values and building upon that foundation. Mercury's ruling the chart. Mercury's right there in the fourth. So yes, maybe things are coming out about authority, maybe things about your own home life or contracts, mortgages, or whatever. Allow yourself to really read and comprehend things and don't be fearful of the other side, right? And just allow yourself to relate that pain when it comes to those contracts or things you might understand and now repent and move forward with this new mindset. And with that, I yield. All right, moving into the Aries zone. All right. Looks like we're near Elliott, Australia. So we were in the Sun's natural ruler house in the fifth house, right? Once again, so this is dealing with children, maybe romance, some will say romance, love, even creativity and self-expression here. Guys, just allow yourself to create. If you need to take new skills to learn something, take them. Or allow yourself to go to someone and learn, right? Sun's ruling ascendant at 27 degrees, 10 minutes, Leo. So once again, it's back to Gemini. So yeah, writing communication. I'm also getting that maybe someone will be interested in like hypnotherapy or something like that. But the motivation is to create and allow yourselves to really value who you are or have a new renewal, a renewed state of mind that is now all about value, all about community and the people, and putting these beings and these offices and departments in check, right? And yeah, standing together with your people. And with that, I yield. So now, see, are you at Pisces? All right, and we're now in the sixth house. Looks like Leo's still on the rise there at 0 degrees. All right, so that's a whole new beginning. So yeah, make sure, and this is January 11th, so we're already gonna know people are gonna be like, oh, 111, 111. Okay, so what ways are you going to what are you going to write for yourself? What plans or goals are you going to make for yourself for this sun cycle? How are you going to relate that and connect with others by love or, foreign cultures? Maybe someone's going to meet someone from a foreign culture that are here. Maybe someone's going to feel more motivated to change up how they do their daily routines and their health and their career for something long term. This is about long term. As Brother Hasan likes to say, no microwave results. But with the proper planning and execution, things can really start to shift. And it's really just more apropos after what we just read today with the historical message when it comes to businesses and supporting everyone and people figuring out what they are good at with the astrology so that now they can be of better service to themselves and humanity. And with that, I yield.
All righty, going into the Aquarius zone for house 7. what we'll see with this solar lunar conjunction, and this is happening near the Vadodara Baroda, right? Sindhu, right? Hindustan, India, all right? And this is for the still the 11th of January, 2024. This is happening in 1700, 2724, right? Quote unquote Indian Standard Time. And here in the 7th house, of course, we know Saturn there in the 9th, right? In Pisces, conjunct Fomalhaut. Look at that, man. It is just 2 minutes past being conjunct Fomalhaut, which kind of also speaks to that Watcher of the South energy with, we recognize what happened on the internet. Everybody knows what's happening there, right? However, with Saturn there 3 houses away from where the Sun Moon is having their conjunction, this is where some type of royal announcement has been made, or an announcement of some type of royal or regal messaging has happened. Maybe it's the message we just read, right? The Moorish leader's historical message to America, right? And what we'll actually see here with this, and this is again 3 days from today, we'll see this new moon taking place. This is where people can really analyze the structure of how they're interacting with other people. Maybe it's a certain group you're in. How are you relating to that group? Maybe the people pertaining to that group that you're relating to, especially with Moon ruling the ascendant, right? Moon ruling the ascendant. It's at 11 degrees. We know 11 is dealing with Aquarius, right? So when it comes to the group, the people, overall, how are they really relating to one another? Where are their hearts? Are they meeting each other there? With Saturn at the Cancer degree within Pisces in the 9th house, are the values pertaining to whatever institution where the people are coming to meet, is it really that solid? Has the things really been communicated to be able to make the foundation and the infrastructure of that institution? Has it really been considered? And I think this is one of the energies just not happening globally, not just globally, but specifically also near Vadodara. And I think this is what will be concentrated on and will be seen. And the people will definitely, they will be bringing to the forefront a list of how they see things should be happening. So it will benefit not just themselves immediately, but even their little ones, their posterity. And with that, I yield the floor. Taking it to the 8th house, going into the Capricorn zone, the solar lunar conjunction, still with Saturn ruling it. Now Saturn is 2 houses away from it. So now we can really, there's some discipline in the values of maybe a shocking message, right? Al-Manama, Bahrain is where Brother Sean is chosen within the Capricorn zone for us to see where this solar lunar conjunction will be taking place. Of course, we won't see the moon there. It's not necessarily particularly an eclipse either. However, with this taking place here, right? Because guys, the eclipses happen the closer we are to the nodes. And this is more of a squaring the nodes kind of situation. This is a T-square with the nodes, actually. And so with that even being said, when it comes to valuing others, when it comes to joining energies together, all righty, especially for the Capricorn zone, what we'll actually see here, there's going to be some type of transformation that is definitely going to have to take place in one's really collecting the values pertaining to, that relationship. However, if it's some type of contract and some debts that are coming from it or debts that need to be owed, this is where chickens come home to roost. Maybe even the quote unquote government, so to speak, near that particular territory, or even within the Capricorn zone, there will be some super reformations that will take place because the values are being thoroughly considered based on people actually reading the law and then holding people accountable to that. And with that, I yield the floor. So finally, for me, going into the Sagittarius zone, we're here in the sun's joy, all right? With the solar lunar conjunction taking place, Saturn is still ruling, right? here. It was Sagittarius for quite a few of them. I mean, it was Jupiter for quite a few of them. But now we see Saturn ruling, and Saturn's doing pretty good in the 10th house, right? It has some accidental dignity there in the 10th. So here is where people will find within their career maybe some things that you've learned. Maybe there's some things, maybe there's a higher training course that ones are taking place. I mean, ones are participating in, excuse me, ones are participating in. And here, with whatever knowledge that you're gaining, or maybe you're someone who's holding a certain course or teaching and training someone so that they can be able to do a better quote unquote job in a certain area. Venus will allow your energies to merge with those that you're teaching, or vice versa, those that you're learning from. You'll be able to really see the balance in knowing some other things that are dealing with you being able to move into a higher position, if not even in what it is that you're actually working as far as a particular company. Just the knowledge alone in the craft will allow you to do better work when called upon, even if it's like subcontractual work. And this is for near the Luena Angola, area, so to speak, within the Sagittarius zone. But this is an energy that can be expressed within the entire Sagittarius zone, and maybe glimpses of that will also be taking place across the planet, right? However, in us giving these global testimonies, this is us just showing, when we take, the 12 different slices pertaining to Earth, each slice being a astrological zone. What we definitely see here is where we can really have the joy in expressing ourselves in a much better fashion, therefore transforming what it is that we do in our career by having a certain knowledge poured out to us, where we take that, learn that, and then be able to really add that up under our belt so that we can get more work for ourselves and be able to do a better job within the community. And with that, I yield the floor to our beloved brother, who we're well pleased, Brother Sean Ali Mel Islam.
All right. So here we go for the Scorpio zone, and it's like Fatoto, Gambia. Let's see what that is. All right, so we're in the 10th house now for this new moon and Capricorn. And what I'm really just getting is that the people, right? If we took the people as to be the ascendant, all right, Mars in the ninth. This is back to moving forward, and with that trine Jupiter, I think there's just an expansion with the ambitions of things and relating and connecting with foreign cultures. So maybe someone from Gambia is going to start to look at the American Constitution, why that's like one of the greatest documents in the world, possibly, and also even deciding to read their own nation standards, and just holding these people on a collective across the board. That I yield. All right, so now we back to the Libra zone.
We in the Libra zone.
Libra zone. Hey, would you look at that, y'all? We got another 111. Would you looky.
111.
All right, so all right, now we're in the 11th house, right? Sun's kind of, and it's not feel good house, right? Sort of say. But once again, this is just back to collecting, right? We're looking at the 5th and the 6th house for the sun and moon being activated, right? So that's creativity and joy and health and pets. Saturn's rolling over that 3 houses away. All right, so it's just about communication. Maybe some short trips are about to occur here. Some matter and getting to maybe someone's about to start like a newsletter or some kind of radio. It might be a Pisces ascendant, or you might see something on the news come from Uruguay or near there. Either or. But just really seeing the value and how we see our self-worth and the things that are, seen and unseen. And with that, A will yield. And now finally, let's get to Virgo zone, right? We got Pluto conjunct that. And this is near Quito, Ecuador. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Quito sounds right. Quito. All right. Got Sun and Moon in the 12th. So this is the undoing. So yeah, this is just setting plans, intentions, goals, actions, to do things anew. If one hasn't really been able to commit to their New Year quote unquote goals. Let's see that mutual reception with Venus and Jupiter. This is and the 11th and 4th. So yeah, this is dealing with homes and friends away from home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, maybe some are about to like start some kind of business with friends. Um, that they're not even near, but they've known each other for a while via the internet or, making some kind of beneficial connections. Or maybe even seeing like a short film or hearing something, some kind of publication or advertisement of some sort, but connecting locally and globally. And with that, I yield the floor, bro.
Indeed,
Bam.
indeed, man. This was excellent. This was amazing.
Bro.
I'm ready to get some victuals, man. I'm ready to enjoy, right? Because you already know in the Moorish community, as Brother Jerry Blaze Bay said earlier, Merry Christmas, right? Because this is the epiphany for those that remember Veritas. This is the epiphany that we're experiencing, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born within 3 days of the epiphany, according to Veritas. So this would be Christmas, right? The actual real one for those that comprehend the metaphysics. What's up, puppy? Look at the Astro puppy.
She don't even like being in front of folks. There she go.
Yeah, she a big girl now. That's because she know what time it is. She like, I'm
this is
puppy.
The Kroger runner right here.
She like, I'm going to the store. You need something? So, guys, I'd like to thank you all. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions going once? Sincere gratitude, says Mother Sahara. Gratitude indeed, Mother Sahara. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twice. This is where I and Brother Sean normally say, be yourselves and donate. Yeah, guys, just give me a little minute. I will make sure that the thumbnail goes up in the description with both our cash apps in it, right? And just support, guys. You will not be disappointed. Just support, right? So that we can continue to do what it is that we do with. All right. So that being said, questions, comments, and or suggestions going thrice. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going thrice. When you go to your victuals, when you go to eat something that makes you happy. However, most of all, make sure that when you go to eat something and what you're eating, make sure it's in harmony with nature. We don't eat any animal byproducts or animals. All right, we don't do that. We're on the vegan train. We on the vegan train. So because that helps your spiritual growth. Ultimately, it helps you to get to those higher spiritualities, so to speak. So make sure you enjoy yourself. However, make sure it's healthy for you also. With that being said, guys, when you also go to rest and recharge, make sure you rest and recharge well. And I thank you all for joining us. Go back and share this with your loved ones. I'm pretty sure we might have said some things that may be seemingly controversial. However, we trust that you guys see that we're not being mean. We're not being harmful to anyone. All we're doing is making sure that we're sharing, what happened when we met Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and we continue to meet Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his literature. All right. And this is where we say to you all, on behalf of myself, Brother Hasan Ghazio Bey, Brother Sean L, Brother Corey Bey, the Exalted Cyclops, Brother Rosemary Bey, and Brother Armo Abba Bey. This is where we say to you all, namaste. Namaste. Say namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace.
Peace.